Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex King. Here's 3 quick stories to get your day started. The immersive Beyond Van Gogh experience is coming to Dayton this November at the Convention Center. Tickets go on sale today. This is so fun. I actually did this last year.
Oh, really?
With Keith. Yeah. It was a blast. It was a really cool experience.
So how does it work? I mean,
you just walk through and it's a bunch of like light shows and there's one room that's all of the walls, ceiling, everything.
Ooh, that
and
sounds
it
cool.
Constantly changes, and you can just like sit in there, get comfortable, and just watch it. It's really cool. And then they also have the.
When I picked this store, I did not know I was going to be next to an expert.
Yeah, I got you. I definitely recommend it. It's
that
really
sounds
cool.
fun. The Dayton Metro Library hosted a free event for kids this weekend. Meet the author behind Curious Critters and see a bunch of live critters.
That's so cool.
And you know, when you have the little ones and animals together, kids are going to go nuts.
Oh yeah, they love all the critters.
Yeah, whether it's a bunny, rabbit, or a snake, it doesn't matter.
Honestly, when I'm around critters, I'm a little kid.
That's true. I mean, it makes everything better, doesn't it?
Exactly. Ghost Light Coffee hosting Lumberjack Fest this weekend. Get out and enjoy some flapjacks and other maple goodies.
This is tailor-made for me.
I was going to say, this event was made for you.
I've got a bunch of flannels at home. I got a Carhartt ready to get. It's going to be too warm for a Carhartt, but you know, I'm ready to rock and roll.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
And you love some flapjacks.
Just don't bring your axe, okay? You'll be all right.
Yeah. Why would you even give anyone that idea?
I don't know. It's like that's the whole point of a lumberjack is to cut down lumber. Just, I don't know. Anyways.
Now.
Scheduled to be sentenced in November.
After hours of negotiations, the Ohio Redistricting Commission approved the new House and Senate maps with unanimous bipartisan support. These will last through 2023 elections. But that doesn't mean Ohioans are happy with the process. Yesterday at the State House, community members accused the Redistricting Commission of creating maps to give Republicans a major advantage.
Shame on you for violating the oaths you took when seated on this commission. Shame on you for trying to erase a constitutional right Ohioans have had for over 100 years. Shame on you for once again wasting hard-earned taxpayer dollars.
This is the second round of redistricting after the commission struggled to meet requirements demanded by voters a few years ago. Meanwhile, Chairman Keith Faber, who is also Ohio's auditor, wasn't moved by what he heard.
I appreciate all that testimony. I like hearing their concerns because I always like hearing more information, not less. But at some point we need to have people who want to testify about the maps, not what they don't like about the process.
For a detailed look at the new maps and the controversy surrounding them, head to this story on our website, Dayton247now.com. This morning, we're just a little over a month away from the Ohio November election.
There are 2 major issues going to be on the ballot that are already energizing voters. Melena Brown joins us live to break down issue 1. Melena.
Issue 1 is going to focus on the abortion battle here in Ohio. If voters pass the measure, abortion would be a constitutional right here in the Buckeye State. In August, voters delivered a win for abortion rights supporters by rejecting a Republican-led effort to change the rules of ballot measures. This time around, the stakes are also high. After Roe was overturned, activists got to work collecting 700,000 signatures to put this issue before voters. In a few weeks, you will decide what happens next. Democrats say they want the decision to be left up to women and their doctors, not politicians.
Most Ohioans believe that healthcare freedom belongs to a woman and their families with input from their doctors. They don't want politicians in the doctor's office with them.
I reached out to Dayton Right to Life, a pro-life organization who opposes issue 1. Here's what they have to say. Dayton Right to Life is very concerned about this dangerous and deceptive language of Issue 1 being added to our state's Bill of Rights. Citizens need to understand that this language could lead to the nullification of all parental rights regarding any reproductive decision, not just abortion, as well as enshrine late-term painful abortion up to 9 months into our state constitution. This is more extreme than Roe v. Wade. And so to read some of the official ballot language, to even see a copy of or a sample of the ballot, you can head to your county's BOE to be able to find that, and we'll show you how to do it coming up in a bit. Back to you.
A new ordinance in Beaver Creek will help protect the security of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. The City Council passed legislation to stop individuals and companies, especially foreign companies, from purchasing land around the base. Anyone looking to get a zoning permit or purchase property could be subject to review by a committee on the foreign investment. This comes amid rising concerns of foreign companies buying up land near military bases across the country. Members of the Beaver Creek City Council say this is a proactive measure to help protect the base, and more neighboring areas should do the same.
Today at the National Museum of the U.S. Air Force, Wawa will be giving an update on plans to expand. That starts at 3:30 today. This comes after the Huber Heights City Council approved building Ohio's first Wawa. It's part of the company's tour across the Midwest, introducing itself to local communities. Leadership plans to talk about the economic impact projected, new jobs, and what makes Wawa unique.
Our time right now is 5:10. Don't forget and get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of the screen all morning long, even during commercials.
A platform that may be your go-to place to shop hit with a major lawsuit from the government. I'm Dee Dee Gatton in Washington. Coming up next, we break down allegations Amazon abused its power and how the company says this lawsuit could impact you.
You're watching Your Day. Amazon looking at a lawsuit, the federal government joining 17 states claiming the company is illegally maintaining monopoly power.
Dee Gann joins us now. She talked with an area expert about the case and what could be a landmark decision. Dee.
As we know, this platform is used by families nationwide. The case reflects years of allegations that Amazon abused its economic dominance and harmed fair competition.
Pharmacist and business owner Dr. Michael Oladegwe.
We know our customers by name. We know their history, so we can adapt to them.
Has been in business for nearly a decade. As Amazon expands to other areas, including pharmacy, he's focused on what he does best.
We become a resource for our patients. They come to us to confirm whether what they see online is authentic or not.
Now, Amazon's business practices are being challenged in a new lawsuit. The Federal Trade Commission and 17 state attorneys general sue Amazon over allegations the online retailer is illegally maintaining monopoly power. The lawsuit says Amazon buries listings offered at lower prices on other sites and charges sellers high fees.
The biggest challenge is for the Justice Department to somehow convince the judge that by advertising and by doing other things that sort of keep other people out, that they're somehow acting like a monopoly.
Legal expert Dr. Mark Clausen anticipates what he thinks will be the argument on the other side, saying other businesses have practices like this as well.
There are stores that are harmed because of some competitor somewhere or in the same town as you are and doing the same thing as you are. They're just doing it better.
In a statement, Amazon responds to the FTC's complaint, saying in part, Amazon's practices have helped spur competition and innovation across the retail industry, resulting in lower prices and faster delivery. If the FTC gets its way, the general counsel of Amazon said the result would be fewer products to choose from, higher prices, and slower deliveries. Reporting for the National Desk, I'm Dee Gann.
Good morning. Here's what we're looking at. Some scattered rain off to the south. Now, we did have a lot of rain overnight, or should I say a really intense period about 9-10 p.m. It was at my house in Miami Township area. Let's take the wide view. Center of the low centered right now over, I would say, east end of Illinois. More towards west end of Indiana. That will continue very, and I do mean very slowly, moving its way to the east. And with it, we'll see those scattered showers and perhaps even a couple of thunderstorms during the middle part of the day. Realistically, though, the heaviest rain or the best potential for heavy rain will likely occur this evening through overnight. There is a chance a lot of this, though, may end up further south, think Kentucky area. If we do start to see this, let's say over our area, there's a good chance that we start talking about some decent rainfall. In fact, enough that it'll bring us up out of the top 3, maybe even top 5 driest in September's ever. Then from there, cloudy skies, maybe some patchy fog for tomorrow morning. Realistically, it may just be a low cloud deck. From there, it's a Thursday and Friday where I can't rule out a chance of rain, but the chances start to get lower and lower. So today, rain likely with temperatures in the mid-70s. Do think we'll slip into the 60s overnight. And then for tomorrow, we will be on our way somewhere in the low to mid-70s, again, depending on how much clearing, if we do get any clearing. Then things turn warmer and drier. Look at these temperatures up around 80 degrees. You know, when you talk about fall, I think a lot of people think of, let's say, 65 through 75. Well, we're at the point where we, by average, should be in the mid-70s, but we're going to be around 80. You take the flip side of that, go 5-10 degrees below average, it's mid-60s. So you're talking about a very much so warmer than average pattern, not a lot of signs of fall. Meanwhile, on the roads this morning, things moving smoothly overall. One thing to point out, wet roads are possible, and because the leaves have already changed color with some of the rain and wind yesterday, I was watching some of the leaves as I was driving from Fort Wayne down to here, starting to hit the ground. There may be some spots that, especially around the storm drains, are starting to get a little bit clogged. If you want to do something a little bit proactive, maybe wash some of the storm drains, make sure they're clear. This way, if we do get heavy rain, those will clear quicker and you get the rain off the roads.
Yeah, the rain is a welcome sight. I mean, it has been so crispy.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. Last night when I was going to sleep and I saw some lightning and thunder, I was like,
Alex
perfect.
is not. Alex is like, oh, I can sleep peacefully now.
Meanwhile, my dog was like half shivering, half just exhausted on my feet. So it felt like I was getting, one of those cheap, like vibrating, like foot massagers.
Oh, poor Valkyrie. Our time right now is 5:20. Still to come, got milk? How about chocolate milk? The best. Duh. Just ahead, we celebrate the sweet drink.
You're watching Your Day.
Time for Pet of the Day here on Your Day, where we celebrate your pets. Of course, I've been off for a hot minute here, so I'm glad to see some new pets that maybe I haven't seen yet, or see some returning friends. And in this case, we've got Odie. Now, Odie, typically the dog in the Garfield cartoons, but Odie here, the cat who is doing a little bit of cleaning on this plant. Whatever the cat is deciding to do there for cleaning, that should be said. Big thank you to Joe for sending in your pet. We're pointing out today it is going to be a couple of hours where we could see showers and thunderstorms even as soon as noontime. I wouldn't rule it out. So this is a case where as we get later and later in the day, I think the better chances move in, hence more of a yellow pause scenario. Early part of the day, again, if you could get out now, I would do it because, you know, as you get into the second half, it's going to be a little bit more hit or miss. And especially if you have a dog or cat that doesn't like when it's raining, they may be begging to come inside and hang out with you. As for traffic this morning, if you are heading out, again, wet roads is probably your primary concern right now. Not seeing too much traffic on the roadways as we speak.
Costco is now offering members online health checkups for as low as $29. It's a partnership with Sesame, a direct-to-consumer healthcare marketplace that connects doctors and nurses with consumers. Costco members beginning this week can book those healthcare visits. Well, meningitis B has a vaccine, but few teens get it. Doctors say it is an uncommon but serious illness that can cause life-threatening complications and even death, and parents should ask their doctor about it.
3 in 10 of 17-year-olds have received at least one dose of the meningitis B vaccination. So most of them haven't, and that's why bringing it up during the visit is important.
Meningitis B and survivors will be featured in a new Lifetime film. Well, a study finds depression risk spikes for those who eat unhealthy foods. The study was published in the journal JAMA Open Network, and it says especially artificial sweeteners have been linked to higher depression rates in women. From the NASDAQ market site, I'm Jane King. Here's your health.
Cheers to chocolate milk. Today is National Chocolate Milk Day, a beverage that might take you back to elementary school. Now, chocolate milk has a rich history. It originated in the 1600s by an Irish botanist, oh my goodness. While living in Jamaica, he was introduced to a local drink made of chocolate and water. He found it too bitter and decided to add milk for taste. The new drink was a hit. He then brought his discovery back to Europe and touted its health benefits. Chocolate milk has several nutrients, including calcium, protein, and vitamin D. So enjoy a nice cold glass. Do either of you ever drink chocolate milk?
Every now and then I'll sneak some of my kids chocolate milk. I mean, like they love it. So we went by like just buying the half gallons, but I just bought the Nesquik powder the other day. So
I was going to say my grandparents always had a thing of the Nesquik, and it used to be I mean, I would have to go through a half gallon of milk there plus Nesquik, just heat it up in a microwave. Alex, I know you're a fan of chocolate milk.
Oh yes. So I grew up. My mom would make chocolate milk for me every single morning before school. So to this day, will keep Nesquik in my pantry. So that if I'm craving like a hot chocolate or something, I can.
Maybe that's what you need instead of coffee here in the mornings, a little chocolate milk.
Or just go mocha with Nesquik.
Oh, mocha coffee? I don't think it quite works that way.
It's chocolate and like coffee.
I don't know. Do you think that'd be good? I don't know.
Only one way to find out.
That's true.
Let's do it.
My drink is white chocolate mocha that I get at Starbucks.
There you go. There you go. I guess it carries on into adulthood. Our time right now is 5:27. Still to come.
In just over a month, you're going to be voting on another issue one. I have details on this one coming up.
You're watching.
Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex King. Here are 3 stories to get your day started. You could spend the night in Shrek's home. Airbnb just recreated the Ogre's Swamp from the 2001 film. It's located in the Scottish Highlands. You can even enjoy freshly made waffles for breakfast. You can request a 2-night stay starting October 13th. This is so cool.
You know what? And Donkey's even there, and he's going to wake up in the morning and say, and in the morning, I'm making waffles. No?
It was fine.
Okay, what, you could do better?
No, which is why I want to tempt
I
it.
tried.
It was good.
I was vulnerable just now, Alex.
sorry.
I was vulnerable.
I'm here to be honest with you.
Okay, fair enough. The British Museum is asking for your help. They're asking the public to help them find about 2,000 stolen artifacts after setting up a hotline. The museum says most of the missing items are Greek and Roman gems and jewelry. That's kind of crazy.
Wow.
Like, I wonder where these have been. I mean, do we think they were stolen and we need Indiana Jones to go retrieve them?
Maybe.
Dun, 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 dun,
Nathan
dun,
Jones?
dun.
Nathan Edwards?
Let's go. No, I'd be dead if I was Indiana Jones. Anyways.
And in Greece, a herd of sheep ate about 220 pounds of cannabis plants. Oh no. The animals broke into a greenhouse during a flood. People say the animals were behaving strangely.
Yeah,
afterwards.
they were asked for comment and they're like, bah, bro. Sorry, that was terrible, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a bad joke.
Oh, that's sad though. Hopefully they were okay.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
That's a lot.
They'll be fine. They went to Taco Bell and all was right in the world.
We are just a little over a month away from the Ohio November election.
There are only 2 major issues on the ballot. Melena Brown joins us live to discuss issue 1. Melena.
Right here is a sample of the ballot for this upcoming general election, and you can easily get one too. Right on your screen now is the Secretary of State's website where you can view your sample ballot. All you need to do is click on the county you live in, type your first and last name, and then it'll pull up a sample of what you'll see when going to vote. I spoke with the Ohio Democratic Party on their stance on issue 1. If passed, it'll make abortion a constitutional right in Ohio, and Democrats are encouraging people to vote yes this November. The Republican Party and pro-life organizations are urging people to vote no. The Dayton Right to Life organization wants you to be aware of what the ballot language means. In a statement, they tell me, quote, Dayton Right to Life is very concerned about this dangerous and deceptive language of issue 1 being added to our state's Bill of Rights. Citizens need to understand that this language could lead to the nullification of all parental rights regarding any reproductive decision, not just abortion, as well as enshrine late-term painful abortion up to 9 months into our state constitution. This is more extreme than Roe v. Wade. While the Ohio Democratic Party says the language was concise.
The language on that was really clear. It told us that Ohioans, we were going to work to enshrine abortion access for Ohio women, that we were going to enshrine birth control rights for Ohio women, and IVF access for Ohio women in our Constitution.
Election Day is November 7th, just a little over a month away, but you have until October 10th to get registered if you aren't already to be able to vote in this upcoming general election. Back to you.
Good morning. Here's what we're looking at. Showers across portions of the area out towards Muncie and then further south near the Williamsburg, so east end of the Cincinnati suburbs. But really nothing right now going down or at least falling in the Miami Valley. Let's go ahead and take a look at visibility because this is of interest this morning. Anytime you do get rain and you get a little bit of stagnant air, you can develop fog. Of course, there's other factors as well, but we're not seeing anything too crazy in terms of fog coverage this morning. Instead, there's a little bit here, a little bit there, maybe a couple of thicker spots. So for right now, we'll call it foggy, maybe a little bit cloudy. Temperature-wise, we'll go from the 60s into the mid to upper 60s by the end of the morning. Note at 11 a.m. we could see a few showers, better chances of rain late. And you can read all about it if Facebook will let me post it on our social media pages. That's at Your Day Dayton. We'll continue to keep you updated there on any type of rain or fog that does develop. As for the roads this morning, Despite the wet roads, not much in terms of issues on the roadways. Just keep in mind those construction zones. Give yourself some extra time.
Montgomery County Police are investigating a potential stabbing in Dayton last night. Dispatch says officers responded to the Sunoco gas station near North Dixie Drive and Needmore Road just after 11. Now, no word on what led to the stabbing or any injuries are reported. We'll update you as soon as more details are available.
One of two teenagers accused in last year's robbery of two Lyft drivers and the deadly shooting of one of them will be back in court next Wednesday. 16-year-old Tylen Peaks pleaded not guilty. He's being tried as an adult because of the seriousness of the charges. And the other teen, 15-year-old Trayvon Mitchell, is also charged as an adult. The pair each face over a dozen charges, including murder and felonious assaults.
This man is now behind bars in Shelby County, accused of unlawful sexual conduct with a minor. Police arrested 55-year-old Stephen Lentz yesterday. They say he contacted a boy through social media and brought him to his apartment for several hours. Lentz was released from prison just last year after serving nearly 20 years for similar offenses.
Today, former President Trump is giving a speech at a non-union auto parts manufacturer in Detroit. On Truth Social Monday, he said Biden will send jobs to China and, quote, "I will keep your jobs and make you rich." Meanwhile, the president of the UAW isn't buying it.
I don't think the man has any bit of care about what our workers stand for, what the working class stands for. He serves a billionaire class, and that's what's wrong with this country. It's not an endorsement for anyone. It's just a flat out how I view the former president.
Those comments come following President Biden's visit to Detroit Tuesday, where he walked on the picket line with striking UAW workers.
Sinclair Community College is sparking conversations about electric vehicles. They're hosting public Q&A sessions for communities for Drive Electric Week. This first session is tonight at 7 in Building 20, hosted by the college's renowned automotive technology department. These sessions are funded through a grant from Electrify America.
There's a new exhibit at the National Museum of the U.S. Air Force. Today, they're opening up Discover Steampunk, a fantastical, hands-on adventure. Steampunk is a movement inspired by Victorian industry and steam-powered inventions. It often features a retro-futuristic aesthetic. The new exhibit will focus on STEAM education, that's science, technology, engineering, art, and math. You can head out and see for yourself during regular museum hours.
Tonight at Day Air Ballpark, prospective college students can head out for college prep night. Now, the totally free event kicks off at 6. It's sponsored by the Dayton Dragons and Day Air Credit Union. It's designed to help students plan their education with their parents. Over 1,000 students are expected to attend. They can talk to college representatives from over 70 universities across the country about school life.
Our time right now is 5:37. Don't forget you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
Life after limb loss, and it's an inspirational story of an amputee who now has hope following a recent visit to Ohio State.
You're watching Your Day.
Good morning. Here's what we're looking at. Temperatures so far in the 60s. Only a couple of us have dipped into the 50s, and many of us are actually at 59. That's right where the dew point is, which suggests that A, we're probably done falling, but B, we could be dealing with fog if that air mass really starts to settle in, but it doesn't look particularly that likely, not with the low spinning in our direction. Really what you want is a weak high, and that would keep the air stagnant. But today should get into the mid 70s. We're pointing out that we will contend with at least some showers. There is the possibility of a few storms. Think on the order of last night, more likely, meaning rolling thunder, perhaps a period or two of heavy rain. I really don't expect this to be a severe weather outbreak, but what we could be looking at is, again, a couple storms of heavier rain, and perhaps some small hail is possible in the strongest of the strong.
Behind me, amputeecoalition.org, where more than 2 million people in the U.S. are living with limb loss or limb difference. Now, the nonprofit organization says 36% of amputees experience depression. But now with the help of Ohio State University, Mandy Gaither shares one man's message of hope to others facing limb loss after he lost his arms and legs.
It all started on December 29th. Flu, strep, and COVID tests were all negative, but Ron Rosas felt incredibly ill.
They tested me and found that I had pneumonia, and then things just progressed.
Within hours of being taken to the ER, this 52-year-old was intubated and on a vent.
Time in the middle of the night, they already knew he was septic and really struggling just to live.
Rosas survived, but tissue in his lower legs and parts of his arms did not. He was told those limbs would have to be amputated, including the arm he uses to play the sport he's loved for decades. Rosas was part of the 1992 Notre Dame tennis team that played for a national championship. He says his quality of life after limb loss depended on his tennis arm.
Having that joint was essential.
Instead of rushing into surgery, Rosas found Dr. David Sousa with Ohio State's Wexner Medical Center.
Without any sort of hesitation, he said, "My goal is to play tennis."
Sousa has a history of helping veterans with limb loss and believed he could help Rosas. It involved nearly 70 hours of surgeries over several weeks.
With his right arm, we not only added healthy tissue, but we brought 3 small muscles from his chest wall and then plugged in the nerves that used to control the hand.
They were able to reconstruct the entire arm. He actually has the muscle function to be able to control his prosthetics himself.
Rosas hopes others facing limb loss will seek out their options.
I can truly say that, I am experiencing, very little pain.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Our time right now is 5:43. Ohio Cup to close out 2023, last week of the regular season, and the Reds and Guardians playing for a trophy. Just ahead, highlights from Cleveland.
You're watching Your Day. Teenagers get more than 200 phone notifications a day. That's according to a new report. It says about a quarter of them come during school hours. The report is from Common Sense Media, a nonprofit that helps families navigate media. It shows some teens use their phones more than 6 hours when they're supposed to be learning. The researchers say some recognize problems involved and are trying to cut back. The study uses data from about 200 participants ages 11 to 17.
And if you own this children's book on your screen, it's been recalled. The company Make Believe Ideas is recalling about 260,000 children's books, including Old MacDonald Had a Farm, due to a choking hazard for young kids. The recall covers 7 books under the Rainbow Road series board books. The plastic binding rings can detach from the books and cause a choking hazard. Sheesh. The company got 2 reports of the plastic rings detaching. Luckily, no injuries were reported.
Expanding access. More students in high-need areas will be eligible to receive free school meals under a rule change announced by the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
Dee Gatton joins us now with a look at how this could impact your family.
An estimated 3,000 more school districts in high-need areas have the option to serve breakfast and lunch to all students at no cost. The U.S. Department of Agriculture just announced it's expanding the availability of the community eligibility provision at schools where 25% of families participate in income-based public benefits like the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program. The federal government now will cover the cost of free meals for all enrolled students. Before, the qualifying threshold was 40%.
When people don't support it, they often say that we can't afford it. But I really don't think we can afford to have kids sitting in class hungry.
A YouGov poll conducted last August said 52% of respondents supported free school lunch for all students. 34% supported free lunch for low-income students only. During the pandemic, Congress temporarily made universal meals free to all students. That ended last year. Reporting for the National Desk, I'm Dee Gatton.
Good morning. Here's a view over Beaver Creek. Boy, it looks a little bit more cloudy in that direction. Can't tell for certain whether or not you can actually pick up any stars outside. The 2 monitors, both here and on the other side, are a little bit more sharp, so they tend to show every little detail that may not be visible to most TVs. But the general theme is for a little bit more clear sky trying to move in. We do have rain off to the south, rain off to the west. Have to watch this one, although it is likely to fade as it continues to move to the east. In terms of best rain chances both today and tomorrow, in particular, today during the second half of the day, that's going to be your best opportunity for any type of heavier duty. Tomorrow, just a couple of scattered few showers, if you will. By Friday, they should be just about wrapped up. Now, Friday's also the last day where we're going to see 70s. So this is a pattern that really is going to be 2 halves. From the first half, going to be near average, for all intents and purposes, maybe even above average considering the mornings. But then we turn sharply above average for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. In fact, those temperatures are going to run into the 80s. So we'll be almost 10 degrees above average at times, maybe even above 10 degrees average by Tuesday into Wednesday. So it is going to be a much warmer and drier pattern for the weekend and beyond. Meanwhile, it's anything but dry on the roads. Do have some wet roads out there. I'm not trying to make a big deal of it, but the last time we did see rain overnight, we had a few more incidents. So I'm reminding everybody, just give it a little bit more time and space as you head out the door.
The last week in the regular season for Major League Baseball, and last night the Cincinnati Reds made the trip north to take on the Cleveland Guardians in the Ohio Cup. Both teams splitting the series earlier this year in Cincy. Game 1 in Cleveland, and it was big night for Elly De La Cruz. The Reds shortstop had not hit a home run in 28 games, but last night he went deep twice, this one coming in the top of the 4th to cut the lead to 1. Cincinnati grabbed the lead in the top of the 5th, and in the top of the 9th, Elly went deep again. The Reds beat the Guardians 11-7. Cincy keeps their postseason hopes alive, now just a game and a half back of this final spot in the National League wildcard race. Cincinnati will try to win the Ohio Cup tonight in Cleveland with first pitch at 6:10.
Our time right now is 5:51. A lot of legs and electric slide. In minutes, the new species found in Thailand and why it appears to light up.
Interesting. You're watching Your Day.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Welcome to the Watson's Weather Patio, where this morning it is very soggy. We did have rain, which, believe it or not, I think all of us have crazily asked for the last couple of days. Certainly the last couple of weeks, it has been bone dry. Throughout the month of September, we were airing towards the side of the top 3 driest Septembers ever, but with the recent rainfall, may not quite get there. Now, we're pointing out very damp environment this morning. Not too cool, but not particularly that warm. And what you end up with is this dankness to the air. Temperature-wise, anywhere from low 60s to upper 50s. So again, it's not particularly that cool. And then for this time of year, it's actually well above average, but part of that is due to the fact that we have a warm air mass. The other half of that is the fact is that we do have all the water on the ground, and that tends to keep temperatures up. Worth pointing out later on today, could see more showers, so especially as you head out the door this morning, perhaps pack the umbrella and maybe also some waterproof shoes.
A new dip coming to McDonald's. The fast food giant putting out multiple sauces next month. For a limited time, it's adding 2 more to its dipping sauce lineup. The first new addition is a sweet and spicy jam. McDonald's describes it as a jammy red pepper sauce with tongue-numbing Szechuan peppercorn kick and extra heat from cayenne pepper. It's the first ever breakfast-inspired dipping sauce to be served at McDonald's. The second is called Mambo sauce. They need Lou Bega for this one. It's inspired by tomato-based sweet and spicy and vinegary sauce popular in Washington, D.C. You can try the new sauces for yourself starting October 9th.
Interesting. Now another option from the Crayons and Papers Pictionary of Old. A new version of the game is coming out, and this version has a high-tech twist. The maker of Pictionary, Mattel, has announced artificial intelligence will become a player in the game. In this new version, players will still sketch words from a card, but it is AI that makes the guess. Players can earn points by guessing whether AI will figure out the answer. People can start pre-ordering the game today. It's expected to hit store shelves on Monday.
A dating app going to another level. Some people who use Tinder will have to dig into their pockets to get access to some new exclusive features. Tinder Select, a new invite-only membership tier, costs $500 a month. Whoa. However, the new option is only being offered to less than 1% of users. Accepted users are allowed to direct message people without matching first. Members can also see and be seen by the map's most sought after profiles. Users will also have the option of hiding ads and see all the likes sent from the past week. This represents the 4th paid tier option within Tinder.
All right, take a look at this. You're watching the Zookeys Journal's X page, where researchers are showing off a never-before-seen species. If you don't like spiders, turn your eyes. This is electric blue tarantula, which has been discovered in Thailand. Researchers found the spider living in a mangrove forest during an expedition to southern Thailand. They say the electric blue coloring does not come from the presence of blue pigmentation, but rather in, quote, the unique structure of their hair. According to the study, the spider's coloring varies by sex and age. Females and young males have more violet hairs than metallic blue on parts of their body. This is apparently one of the world's rarest tarantulas.
That is really, really cool, cool looking.
Big spider fan, Alex?
I don't hate them as long as they're not in my bubble.
In your bubble of space?
Like, I woke up and there was a spider in our bed the other day. I woke up from my nap.
A big one?
And got up. It was like a little jumping spider.
Did it jump on
you? It was pretty creepy. No, it was on my husband's pillow. And I smashed it on his
You were
pillow.
one bite away from fighting crime in Gotham City.
Yeah. Our time right now is 5:57. We got a lot more coming up on your day at 6 a.m.
In just over a month, you're going to be voting on another issue 1. The ballot details are coming up next.
You're watching Your Day.
Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex King. Here's 3 quick stories to get your day started. The immersive Beyond Van Gogh experience is coming to Dayton this November at the Convention Center. Tickets go on sale today.
This looks kind of cool. I'm sure with all the colors and stuff, it'd be absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, as I said, I went and it's just such a different experience.
Yeah.
I was like mesmerized by every single thing.
Yeah, I might have to go check it out.
Yeah, you should.
That seems interesting.
A little date night.
That's right, date with the wifey. Yeah, Dayton Metro Library hosted a free kids event this weekend. Meet the author behind Curious Critters and see live animals as well. Yeah, this should be a great time. And yeah, I don't know, there's just something about meeting little creatures. My son went out to Learning Tree Farm a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he got to pet snakes and turtles and all that stuff, and he couldn't stop talking about it.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Well, maybe you can check that out as well.
Yeah, might be a good little weekend trip.
Ghost Light Coffee hosting Lumberjack Fest this weekend. Get out and enjoy some flapjacks and other maple goodies. So while the kiddos are learning about critters, you can be at
I'm be a lumberjack.
Fest.
That's right. I'll tell you what, they have this lumberjack pie and latte. It's good.
That sounds amazing.
It's got a little maple hints to it.
I think I've actually had that.
Yeah, it's really good. They brought it in here before many years ago. And yeah, good stuff. So head on out and have a good old time.
Now a live look over the Miami Valley after weeks without rain. Today is the day.
Yeah, cloudy and cool right now, but we're expecting showers this afternoon. Let's check in with meteorologist Nick Maruziak. Nick?
Yeah, it's one of those days where we could even see a couple showers this morning. Right now, we got a thunderstorm complex just out to the west. In theory, this could end up making its way all the way here, although I do think it'll weaken substantially as it moves in towards the Miami Valley. Speaking of, we're anywhere between partly to mostly cloudy, although we have had some clearing here locally in the Dayton area. As for today, the biggest issue may be fog early on. And again, there is that threat of showers as you start getting towards the late morning hours. Temperature-wise, going from low 60s to the upper 60s. So while it is, let's say, cool right now, technically we're above average for this time of year, and we'll see a lot of above average temperatures during the weekend. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but if we can't make it, we got something for you, which is our Facebook page. There, I have finally gotten the algorithm on Facebook to allow me to post and cross-post, and there you can read all about your weather there. As for traffic this morning, here's what it looks like as you head out the door. Things are moving pretty smoothly at this hour. No major concerns as you head out the door.
This morning, we're just a little over a month away from the Ohio November election.
There are two major issues on the ballot that are already energizing voters. Melena Brown joins us live this morning to break down issue 1. Melena.
So issue 1 focuses on the abortion battle here in Ohio. If voters approve this measure, abortion would become a constitutional right here in the Buckeye State. Now, in August, voters delivered a win for abortion rights supporters by rejecting a Republican-led effort to change the rules for ballot measures. This time around, the stakes are also high. After Roe was overturned, activists got to work collecting 700,000 signatures to put this issue before voters. In a few weeks, you will decide what happens next. Democrats say they want the decision to be left up to women and their doctors, not politicians.
Most Ohioans believe that healthcare freedom belongs to a woman and their families with input from their doctors. They don't want politicians in the doctor's office with them.
I reached out to the Dayton Right to Life, a pro-life organization who opposes issue 1. Here's what they had to say. Dayton Right to Life is very concerned about this dangerous and deceptive language of issue 1 being added to our state's Bill of Rights. Citizens need to understand that this language could lead to the nullification of all parental rights regarding any reproductive decision, not just abortion, as well as enshrine late-term painful abortion up to 9 months into our state constitution. This is more extreme than Roe v. Wade. If you want to read the official ballot language, you can head to the Secretary of State's website and print out a sample ballot. I'm going to show you how to do that in just a bit. Back to you.
The former Dayton Public Schools employee caught on camera knocking a child with autism to the ground now faces multiple charges. Prosecutors charged 56-year-old Darke Sorrells with 1 count of assault, which is a 4th-degree felony, and 2 counts of endangering children, which are misdemeanors. Sorrells worked in the district for over 20 years and at Rosa Parks Early Learning Center since 2018. This is the only disciplinary incident on his file. The school placed him on administrative leave pending an investigation, but he resigned on September 7th before he could be fired. Montgomery County Prosecutor Matt Heck Jr. released this statement on the situation, saying, quote, "The video of this incident is disturbing and difficult to watch. It has generated a lot of outrage both locally and nationally," end quote. Parents expect and deserve better from caretakers and should have confidence their children are safe from abuse when at school, end quote.
A school district in turmoil. Two Tip City school board members refusing to show up to last night's special board meeting, meaning no work could be done. Lydia Bice breaks down what happened.
At Tuesday's special meeting, the board was supposed to vote on who will fill the vacancy left by Simon Patry, who resigned on September 5th. That was the same night when board member Ann Zakur gave a Nazi salute to Patry. Ever since, the school board has been dealing with the aftermath of this controversy.
I don't really want to talk about it anymore. I think that there's been plenty of stuff out there on it. I think let's just move forward.
But on Tuesday, when Zakur and board member Teresa Dunaway did not show up to the meeting, the board was unable to vote on who will fill the vacancy because 3 members are needed in attendance to vote. Now, since the board was unable to vote on a candidate for the vacant position, I was told that this decision could be handed over to a probate court judge who would make the final determination. If no candidate is voted on by October 6th, it will be handed over to that judge. Of course, we will keep you updated both on air and online when a new board member is named. Back to you.
Right now, Miami Township Police are looking for at least 2 suspects who fired nearly 90 rounds in a drive-by shooting. Officers say it happened just after 8 yesterday morning in the 6,000 block of Verdi Drive. Luckily, no one was injured. Police believe the shooters targeted someone living in the area. This is still under investigation.
A former Centerville police officer now awaits sentencing for involuntary manslaughter. Benjamin Bishop pleaded guilty to charges in Butler County yesterday in connection to a toddler shooting and killing himself. The boy grabbed the loaded gun, which was sitting unsecured on a windowsill back on March 30th. He died the next day from the injury. Police found out about the shooting when someone else called 911. Bishop's scheduled to be sentenced in November.
Today at the National Museum of the U.S. Air Force, Wawa will be giving an update on plans to expand. That starts at 3:30 today. This comes after the Huber Heights City Council approved building Ohio's first Wawa. It's part of the company's tour across the Midwest, introducing itself to local communities. Leadership plans to talk about the economic impact, projected new jobs, and what makes Wawa unique.
Our time right now, 6:08. Don't forget you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of the screen all morning long, even during commercials.
An area company preparing for a multi-million-dollar expansion just ahead. The major project in Troy and the impact it'll have here on Miami Valley.
You're watching Your Day.
Here's what we are looking at this morning as you go out into the outside. Well, it is somewhat cloudy out there. We do have to watch as a little bit of an area of thunder showers still continues to chug along Interstate 69, actually now moving towards Interstate 65. Do have that weakening though, so it'll be interesting to see just how much can it hold together throughout the morning hours. Still think that there's an opportunity for some showers. Again, really depends on if it can hold together. Then during the afternoon, more showers possible, although I would say your best chance overall is going to be this evening. From there, it's all about what falls overnight. There is a chance that a lot of this activity gets pushed off to the south, but there may be an opportunity for some more heavy rain during overnight tonight. From there, tomorrow, a couple of scattered showers, but really the activity starts to lessen. And I think for Friday, also a day where in theory we could see a shower. Although, again, that chance goes lower and lower as we get further and further away from today. I should note that the roads are wet this morning, but nothing crazy as you step out the door. Things have been moving smoothly and optimistically. You know, despite the wet roads, let's keep that trend up.
Our time right now, 6:12. Today in Grammy Hope, we introduce you to a 14-year-old who loves to read and taking hikes outside. In minutes, how he enjoys nature and what he's looking for in a family.
You're watching Your Day. At any given time, there are more than 600 children in foster care here in Montgomery County. The goal is always to reunite those children with their families, but the sad truth is some of those kids can never go back home, and now they are up for adoption.
Dayton 24/7 now is teamed up with Grammy Hope to help, and this morning we want to introduce you to Jackson, who's right now looking for a family.
My name is Jackson. I'm 14 and I'm in the 9th grade. You I play video games, I like to take walks, and I just like, being outside, enjoying the air, peace, serenity, it just makes things feel better. Helps calm you down if you're, feeling frustrated or something like that. So it's just something I like to do. I like reading books and all that. It's just nice to be able to, throw yourself in a story and, be able to enjoy it. There's a lot more detail in a book than a movie. Yeah, my favorite subjects are math, science. There's just a lot of interesting stuff in science, and for math, I just like that there's a set way to do things, and that you could follow a certain formula and get a certain answer every time, no matter what equation. I would like to go to college. I don't really know what I want to be yet, but I just know I would like to experience it. Maybe travel a little bit, just live the best life I can. My favorite thing about myself is that I'm very analytical, and I like to think things through before I do them. My ideal living situation would just be anywhere, where I can actually, just have my freedom and, do things I want to do. I understand, I got stuff to do, but I just want to, have my freedom. Yeah, I would still like to maintain some of the relationships I have, with my sister. It's probably the most important relationship I have. Family's family, when everything else is gone, family's really all you have left.
And you can find out more about Jackson and other children who are up for adoption right now on Dayton247now.com.
Every week, we're going to feature another child in our Dayton 24/7 Now's Grant Me Hope profiles.
Good morning. Here's what we're looking at. Temperatures in the 60s and upper 50s, so not particularly that cold for this time of year. There is a chill in the air. As you'd imagine, we are in the latter stages of September, early stages of October. It's not going to be that warm outside. There's no real, let's say, reason for it to be in the 70s during the morning, other than maybe just a heavy-duty rain, and that's not the case for today. What's interesting about today is when you start checking off things, cool morning, a lot of moisture, okay, those two things, but we do have winds at 5 to 11 miles per hour. Why do I bring that up? It's one of the reasons among the non-clear skies that we haven't seen fog really develop that hard this morning or that thick. There are going to be some spots that do have a little bit of fog, but I think the main message of today is going to be the showers and storms possible during the second half of the day. Is it going to be a severe weather outbreak? Probably not, but there could be a storm or two, including a storm that could produce some heavy rain, some frequent lightning, and perhaps maybe the strongest of the strong, some hail. I'm not buying that every storm is going to do this. In fact, I'm buying more the fact that it is going to be probably the best chance of rain over the next few days. And when you factor in that after basically Friday, our rain chances go to nil the rest of the week ahead. In fact, Friday and beyond, it's going to be a return to shoulder season with temperatures near 80 and a whole lot of sunshine. Meanwhile, on the roads this morning, your biggest issue may be just a little bit of wet roads. I'm not trying to make a big deal of it, but go back a couple weeks ago where we did have rain overnight. We did have more incidents, so I'm just reminding everybody, give yourself some extra space and time, especially around the bus stops.
Topping this morning's Dayton Business Journal headlines, Hobart Brothers LLC has begun a $5 million addition to its facility on North Kings Chapel Drive in Troy. The manufacturer of welding filler metals expects to nearly double its current manufacturing floor space. The expansion will bring jobs with it too, marking one of the company's largest investments since the 90s. To read more about this story and others like it, head to Dayton247now.com, click on the News tab, and select Dayton Business Journal.
Our time right now is 6:20. Hump Day. Digital producer Max trying to get you through the work week. Your Facebook poll question coming up in minutes.
You're watching Your Day.
Time for Pet of the Day here on your day where we celebrate your pets. Of course, I am back in the saddle, which means I get to bring you more pet goodness from our viewers. And today's pet is Odie. Odie here doing a little bit of hedging or trimming. Not quite sure if he's a horticulturalist, but it seems like he's having a good old time. And Joe sent in this photo. So big thank you to Joe and everybody else who, of course, sends in your photos every day, whether it's on our app or also on our website. You can chime in yours. And just a reminder to send us details about your pet. Meanwhile, for today, we are looking at temperatures in the mid-60s, giving way to 70s. Note the rain showers from about noon onward. Noon, it'll be a couple showers, but really we're targeting the second half day for the better chances of any type of rain. And there could be a couple of thunderstorms, so especially if you have a pet like mine, they may be looking for an escape route, whether it's the bath or whether it's in the car. Speaking of the car, you know, mine's not in there right now, but she may spend some time later on just hiding from any rain. Right for now, the rain has held off, but so is any traffic issues. Things are moving smoothly this morning.
All right, digital producer Max standing by. Max, you have quite the question this morning for us.
We've got a hot or maybe a golden brown question today. When you're making s'mores, how do you cook that marshmallow? Do you like to get a golden brown? Are you patient? Or are you like me and just, I don't like to see any white left. I want it to just be on fire. I know I have a hot take.
Okay, so first off, I said number one is a crime against humanity. Okay, because
you can't
who just eats the plain marshmallow? It's always harder to eat. It's
Whoa,
not,
whoa, whoa,
That's not edible.
That's mean. But I've eaten marshmallows out of the bag
On a
before,
s'more?
right?
I could definitely see him eating one.
Like just out of the bag? Like that's number one. Now I wouldn't do it over a s'more. No, that's weird.
it's a crime against humanity.
Yeah.
It's like,
Okay, we're on the same page here.
It takes away from the element, then you can't melt the. So I'm like right between 2 and 3. I think there's a happy medium there. I probably drift more towards 2, but I think right in the middle of those 2 is where I'm at.
You're a patient man. Okay.
I'm team 3.
Thank you, Alex.
I'm team like stick it and go for 2, but end up with 3. Like just no matter what happens, I'll get distracted, and next thing I know, I'm like, well, it's black.
Yeah, personally, I like to put it in there, catch it on fire. I'll hold it in front of my face. Once I can't see any white left, I'll blow it out and just. I like the shard bits.
Do you?
Yeah.
I feel it.
It's tasty.
The acridness.
And hey, enjoy your golden brown marshmallow. By the time you enjoy your first one, I'll be on my 5th.
But there's something about the patience and the experience of watching it go like heat up, you know? And then you get the consistency all the way through.
Yeah, but the problem is, there is a point where it gets brown on the outside, but the inside's turned to goo, and you just start to see it drop, and it falls off.
God, it's a thing of beauty. Max, good question. I see there's already a lot of people chiming in.
Yeah, this is a hot topic. Oh, I see a lot of 3s in there.
Well, we're going to have to read some responses coming up here in a minute. Max, great question as always. Our time right now, 6:26, still to come.
In just over a month, you're going to be voting on another issue 1. Some of the ballot details are coming up next.
But first, here's Julie Moran with America's Steals and Deals.
The following segment is sponsored by Naki.
It is so unfortunate that 1 in 3 women will be assaulted in their lifetime, and that is a very scary statistic. And that's why I love Bling Sting, because you can feel safe and look fashionable all at the same time. And I insist that both my daughters carry this pepper spray because it's maximum strength and it has a 12-foot direct range. It also has a UV marking device that stains the target for up to 48 hours, which is really helpful for police to identify the attacker. That is really, really unique. And all it takes is one quick spray in the assailant's face to make them stop. It's also portable and it's easy to conceal, which I just did if you don't want anybody to see it. And they come in all these bright colors. They got camo too, so many patterns that you can pick your style and you can clip it anywhere. Like you can clip it to your backpack, you can belt loop, purse, wherever. And you know, this product gives me peace of mind knowing I'm protecting my daughters and myself. And right now, this is really, really great. We are offering 25% off the Bling Sting pepper spray. So head to asadeals.com for this exclusive offer. They're gonna go fast, so you wanna get this right away.
Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex King. Here are 3 stories to get your day started. You could spend the night in Shrek's home. Take a look at this. An Airbnb just recreated the Ogre Swamp from the 2001 film. It's located in the Scottish Highlands. You can even enjoy freshly made waffles for breakfast. You can request a 2-night stay starting October 13th.
You said my donkey was weak earlier. Let's see it.
I'm not doing it.
No?
No, I can't do it.
In the morning, I'm making waffles.
That was better.
Okay,
Maybe
okay,
just have a little bit
we're
of
having
waffle.
some improvements.
Yes.
Better than my Michael Caine impression.
Yes,
At
absolutely.
least I didn't try Scottish. That's not the best. It'll probably just sound like Sean Connery. Throw that one out there. And the British Museum is asking for your help. They're asking the public to help them find about 2,000 stolen artifacts, even setting up a hotline. Now, the museum says most of the missing items are Greek and Roman gems and jewelry. These will probably pop up at a Goodwill like 20 years from now. I mean, that's how this stuff works, right?
Yeah, probably.
Or some warlords have them and like they're, you know.
They're gonna have to do it and like they're gonna have to sell them in like some low-key underground black market.
Yeah, we've seen
dark
it in
web.
the movies, man.
Cause yeah, they're gonna find them so easily.
We will find them. And we
Yes,
will
we
return
will.
them gems.
Let's get on it.
That's right.
And in Greece, a herd of sheep ate about 220 pounds of cannabis plants. The animals broke into a greenhouse during a flood. People say the animals were behaving strangely afterwards. Yes, because they were
they were riding high.
As a kite.
Yeah, that's right. But you know what? It's probably good for the little sheep. Maybe. I don't know. they're bad.
How is it good?
I don't know. Well, I know it's weak, but it's like so obvious. Like if I don't make a bad joke, then I'm doing a bad job.
Okay, moving on. We are just a little over a month away from the Ohio November election.
Now, there are only 2 major issues on the ballot. Melena Brown joins us live to discuss one of them, issue 1. Melena.
So right here is a sample of that ballot that you just mentioned, Nathan, and it's easy for you all at home to get one as well. If you want, look on your screen now, you can see that this is the Secretary of State's office website where you can view your sample ballot. All you need to do is click on the county you live in, then type your first and last name, and it's going to pull up a sample of what you'll see when you go in to vote. I spoke with the Ohio Democratic Party on their stance on issue 1. If passed, it'll make abortion a constitutional right in Ohio. Democrats are encouraging people to vote yes this November. The Republican Party and pro-life organizations are urging people to vote no. The Dayton Right to Life organization wants you to be aware of what the ballot language means. In a statement, they tell me, quote, Dayton Right to Life is very concerned about this dangerous and deceptive language of issue 1 being added to our state's Bill of Rights. Citizens need to understand that this language could lead to the nullification of all parental rights regarding any reproductive decision, not just abortion, as well as enshrine late-term painful abortion up to 9 months into our state constitution. This is more extreme than Roe v. Wade. And the Ohio Democratic Party says the language was concise.
The language on that was really clear. It told us that Ohioans, we were going to work to enshrine abortion access for Ohio women, that we were going to enshrine birth control rights for Ohio women, and IVF access for Ohio women in our Constitution.
Now, Election Day is November 7th, and if you aren't registered yet, you have up until October 10th to be able to register and vote in this upcoming general election. Back to you.
Good morning. Here's what we're looking at over Beaver Creek as you look outside. It is a fairly quiet morning, at least over Dayton, but we do have some problems lurking out to the west, mainly in the form of showers. There could be a couple areas of fog or really just low cloud deck at times this morning. I'm not expecting any type of heavy-duty fog. I think that point has mostly left us as the slope continues to get closer. And as it does, we will likely look at a few showers late morning, afternoon. Better chances of heavier rain do move in for the second half day. So if you're planning out your day, it's that second half of the day that seems to be the more likely. You're probably going to be wanting an umbrella if you're going to be out and about, or perhaps maybe just throwing one in the back of your car where it'll live for the next 3 months until the next time you remember, oh yeah, I do have that back there. As for this morning, if you're going to do anything, follow us on social media. You know the drill by now. Your day, Dayton. Let's go to traffic, where this morning it is a fairly quiet morning commute. Haven't seen any types or issues, but traffic's starting to pick up here, so a little bit of congestion in your normal spots this morning.
Montgomery County police are investigating a potential stabbing in Dayton last night. Dispatch says officers responded to the Sunoco gas station near North Dixie Drive and Needmore Road just after 11 o'clock. No word on what led to the stabbing or if any injuries are reported. Of course, we'll update you with more details once they become available.
One of two teenagers accused in last year's robbery of two Lyft drivers and the deadly shooting of one of them will be back in court next Wednesday. 16-year-old Tylen Peaks pleaded not guilty. He's being tried as an adult because of the seriousness of the charges. Another teen, 15-year-old Daytravion Mitchell, is also charged as an adult. The pair each face over a dozen charges, including murder and felonious assault.
This man's now behind bars in Shelby County Jail, accused of unlawful sexual conduct with a minor. Police arrested 55-year-old Stephen Lentz yesterday. They say he contacted a boy through social media and brought him to his apartment for several hours. Lentz was released from prison just last year after serving nearly 20 years for similar offenses.
There's a new exhibit opening at the National Museum of the U.S. Air Force. Today, they're opening up Discover Steampunk, a fantastical hands-on adventure. Steampunk is a movement inspired by Victorian ideals of industry and steam-powered inventions. It often features a retro futuristic aesthetic. The new exhibit will focus on STEAM education. That's science, technology, engineering, art, and math. You can head out and see for yourself during regular museum hours.
Tonight at Day Air Ballpark, prospective college students can head out for college prep night. Now, the totally free event kicks off at 6. It's sponsored by the Dayton Dragons and Day Air Credit Union. It's designed to help students plan out their education with their parents. Over 1,000 students are expected to attend. They could talk to college representatives from over 70 universities across the country about school life.
Our time right now is 6:38. Don't forget you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather right here on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
Remembering an area man with one of the highest honors, today in Hometown Hero, Adam Arrow highlights a Carnegie Medal recipient.
You're watching Your Day.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeffshman Auto Group.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Heading to the beach anytime soon? You could be joined by manta rays, such as these, hanging out in the surf of Orange Beach, Alabama. All the rain this week in the Pacific Northwest is sure to help Washington's Snoqualmie Falls remain as spectacular as ever. And depending on where you live, fall colors are starting to appear, such as here in Dayton, Ohio.
Want to see your weather photos and videos on TV? Click Chime In on this station's website to share.
Good morning and welcome to the Watson's Weather Patio. I just happened to see maybe a little bit of my breath showing up, and I always love this time of year because there are some mornings where you do start to see that. There are other mornings where the air is pretty, not necessarily warm, but it's pretty dank outside. Of course, we had the rain last night. That's helping keep temperatures up. It's pretty cloudy outside. I'm just looking over the clouds. It seems like the cloud deck has risen since not only I got in this morning, but maybe over the last hour, but still, generally speaking, overcast. And of course, we are a little bit of a warmer air mass. Now, that being said, we have quieted things down in terms of rainfall this morning. The only showers within the last 3 hours were up around Bell Fountain. Those have since moved out. We're going to get a gap where there's not going to be much, but we do expect some more showers possible not only later on today, but potentially later on this morning through the afternoon. Of course, we'll continue to track those and any residual showers or storms that do happen during the evening and overnight period.
Risking his life to save another, a Beaver Creek man posthumously honored for doing just that.
As why Adam Arrow explains, he's a hometown hero.
This is Beaver Creek native Anthony Deal and his family. Recently, the Carnegie Hero Fund Commission awarded the Carnegie Medal to him for his heroic actions last year. It recognizes those who enter extreme danger while saving or attempting to save the lives of others. Back on July 13th of last year, Deal was on the shores of Lake Michigan near South Haven. His 7-year-old nephew was suddenly carried away by strong currents while playing in shallow waters. Deal didn't hesitate, swam out to try and rescue the boy. Sadly, though, both he and Deal didn't make it. Deal's family received the Carnegie Medal in his honor, along with a financial grant. Our deepest condolences to Deal's family. His heroism will never be forgotten.
And if you know someone that's a hometown hero, let us know. Grab your phone and scan the QR code.
You can chime in your submission through our app. We need a description of why they're a hometown hero and a few pictures or video.
Our time right now is 6:44. Ohio Cup to close out 2023. Last week of the regular season, and the Reds and Guardians playing for a trophy. Just had highlights from Cleveland.
You're watching Your Day.
The last week in the regular season for Major League Baseball, and last night the Cincinnati Reds made the trip north to take on the Cleveland Guardians in the Ohio Cup. Both teams splitting the series earlier this year in Cincy. Game 1 in Cleveland, and it was a big night for Elly De La Cruz. The Reds shortstop had not hit a home run in 28 games, but last night he went deep twice. This one coming in the top of the 4th to cut the lead to 1. Cincinnati grabbed the lead in the top of the 5th, and in the top of the 9th, Elly went deep again. The Reds beat the Guardians 11-7. Cincy keeps their postseason hopes alive, now just a game and a half back of the final spot in the National League wildcard race. Cincinnati will try to win the Ohio Cup tonight in Cleveland with first pitch at 6:10.
Good morning. Here's a view right now over Beaver Creek, where again we are waking up to a somewhat cloudy start. Do have a couple areas where it has cleared. Those temperatures have dropped a little bit more, not necessarily a huge difference, but there is at least a little bit of a temperature gradient here and there locally, mainly due to the cloud cover. Now, as for today, we are tracking a line of showers that is out to the west, held together for a pretty good while, although has weakened substantially south of Indianapolis. That may arrive within the next few hours, although I don't think necessarily it's going to arrive as a huge shield of rain or heavy rain. It may be just some scattered light rain. Then from there, the heaviest rain likely to move into the area, not only this evening, but potentially overnight. It could end up being a case where the heaviest of the heavy misses to the south. For tomorrow, still think that there could be showers. Worth pointing out, tomorrow will be a little bit cooler. And then from there, we'll be on the lookout for fog not only tomorrow morning, but also Friday morning. Friday should be a little bit of a calmer day overall, with clouds probably leaving as soon as the morning hours, but for the afternoon, I'd expect to see sunshine. Speaking of sun, get used to seeing it. After this weekend, it is just going to be temperatures in the 80s with periods of direct blue sky and others where we may be able to count the clouds on one hand. As for this morning, if you are traveling, biggest issue is going to be some wet roads, but I really don't expect it to be anything that's crazy. It's just worth pointing out because, well, it's been a while since we've had wet roads, and last time we did, we had a couple of incidents around the area.
Our time right now is 6:51. The USDA with a big announcement on school breakfast and lunch at 7 on your day. Dee Gatton looks at the impact for students across the country.
A former Centerville police officer now awaits sentencing for involuntary manslaughter. Benjamin Bishop pleaded guilty to charges in Butler County yesterday in connection to a toddler shooting and killing himself. The boy grabbed a loaded gun, which was sitting unsecured on a windowsill, back on March 30th. He died the next day from the injury. Police found out about the shooting when someone else called 911. Bishop is scheduled to be sentenced in November.
After hours of negotiations, the Ohio Redistricting Commission approved the new House and Senate maps with unanimous bipartisan support. These will last through 2023 elections, but that doesn't mean Ohioans are happy with the process. Yesterday at the State House, community members accused the Redistricting Commission of creating maps to give Republicans a major advantage.
Shame on you for violating the oaths you took when seated on this commission. Shame on you for trying to erase a constitutional right Ohioans have had for over 100 years. Shame on you for once again wasting hard-earned taxpayer dollars.
This is the second round of redistricting after the commission struggled to meet requirements demanded by voters a few years ago. Meanwhile, Chairman Keith Faber, who is also Ohio's auditor, wasn't moved by what he heard.
I appreciate all that testimony. I like hearing their concerns because I always like hearing more information, not less. But at some point we need to have people who want to testify about the maps, not what they don't like about the process.
For a detailed look at the new maps and the controversy surrounding them, head to this story on our website, Dayton247now.com. This morning, we're just a little over a month away from the Ohio November election.
And there are two major issues on the ballot that are already energizing voters. Melina Brown joins us live this morning to break down issue 1. Melina.
Issue 1 focuses on the abortion battle here in Ohio. So if voters approve the measure, abortion could become a constitutional right here in the Buckeye State. Now, back in August, voters delivered a win for abortion rights supporters by rejecting a Republican-led effort to change the rules for ballot measures. This time around, the stakes are also high. After Roe was overturned, activists got to work collecting 700,000 signatures to put this measure before voters. In a few weeks, you will decide what happens next. Democrats say they want the decision to be left up to women and their doctors, not politicians.
Most Ohioans believe that healthcare freedom belongs to a woman and their families with input from their doctors. They don't want politicians in the doctor's office with them.
I reached out to Dayton Right to Life, a pro-life organization who opposes issue 1. Here's what they have to say. Dayton Right to Life is very concerned about this dangerous and deceptive language on issue 1 being added to our state's Bill of Rights. Citizens need to understand that this language could lead to the nullification of all parental rights regarding any reproductive decision, not just abortion, as well as enshrine late-term painful abortion up to 9 months into our state constitution. This is more extreme than Roe v. Wade. Now, if you want to read the official ballot language, you are able to go on and find a sample ballot. I'm going to show you how to do that coming up in a bit. Back to you.
Now, a new ordinance in Beaver Creek will help protect the security of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. The City Council passing legislation to stop individuals and companies, especially foreign companies, from purchasing land around the base. Now, anyone looking to get a zoning permit to purchase property could be subject to review by the Committee on Foreign Investment. This comes amid rising concerns of foreign companies buying up land near military bases across the country. Members of the Beaver Creek City Council say this is a proactive measure to help protect the base, and more neighboring areas should do the same.
Today at the National Museum of the U.S. Air Force, Wawa will be giving an update on plans to expand. That starts at 3:30 today. This comes after the Huber Heights City Council approved building Ohio's first Wawa. It's part of the company's tour across the Midwest, introducing itself to local communities. Leadership plans to talk about the economic